What causes post traumatic stress disorder, right? PTSD. So that brings us to the first question: what is PTSD? And since this is a finance channel, we are going to talk about financial PTSD. There are many people who committed suicide in October 1987, the day when the market wiped out some 500 billion US dollars from the market in US, and the market fell, I think, something like 22%. And there are many people who committed suicide. In fact, there was one guy, I don't remember his name, he took his life, and his son later on said that it is not the money that but the fact that he lost it, that he felt a sense of shame that he took his life. And one person, I don't remember the name again, he walked into a broker's office, killed one broker, and then injured somebody else. He fired indiscriminately, and then he took his own life. I also know the case of one person who was attending my training program in Gujarat, Standard Chartered Bank, and I asked him why he came into this, because he had a brokerage background. So he was on the same day, October 1987, he was sitting, he was on the terminal, young boy, must have been 21, 22, and his client was sitting next to him. Then he showed the loss to the client, and by the time he turned he was sitting like this, he turned to his client, he found his client was clutching his heart and just dropped dead. This can be traumatic for many of us, right? You are talking to a person and suddenly that person has a heart attack and he sees the fall in the market, maybe lost 1 lakh, 2 lakhs, 10 lakhs, I don't know, but he just collapsed. That is a heart attack. He could not take the pressure. But not being able to take the pressure is something different, but committing suicide is something much worse. I think what happens is, at least this is what science says, is whenever there is some such traumatic event, you keep replaying that in your head, and then sometimes you feel that, oh, I caused it, how am I going to reply to my brother, sister, mother, father, whose money I've been handling. It's pretty traumatic. If you have the money, you would say, okay, I lost this money for you, here is a check. But there are times when you've lost the money and you don't have that check writing ability, so you just have to lump it and say, oh, I'm sorry, but I lost your money. It's not very easy for people handling money in private. I mean, fund managers can rationalize, they may have some support system, etc. But for individuals managing their own money, managing the family money, etc., I recently heard of a person who's 58 years of age who lost a lot of money, and his house has been lost, and he's shifted from Ghatkopar, a slightly upmarket place, to a place called Dombivli, which is a lower end. When he had to do that because he had to sell his house to repay the loan, repay for the losses. So how do you deal with this? So first of all, you tell yourself that you are a small player in the market. You have enough equity which will hold on for the next 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, whatever is your view. And you have enough time for the market to recover, and in the longer run, the 1987 fall will look like a blip. It doesn't really matter. So you are investing for the long run. You have enough debt instruments from which you can withdraw when the market really falls 22% in a day, which is pretty unprecedented. But then unprecedented things do happen in the market. Just because it has never happened before, it does not mean it won't happen now, right? So this is like a tiger. When in a casino they had a tiger which would go around, there would be a trainer who would hold it and take it around. This is just a show thing, and they have taken insurance for the tiger attacking the visitors who are there, right? The clients, all that was insured, but they didn't bother to insure the trainer, and one day the tiger killed the trainer. So it's very easy to say, oh, we thought of all the risk, but you don't always think of all the risks. So understand that risk can happen, and for that risk you have to be prepared. So the market can fall 10, 20, 30%. In your lifetime, market will fall at least 50% once, or maybe 47% once. It has happened for me. It was 1993, but 1992 the market had gone up 268%. So all these things will happen. There will be some year when the market could go up 268%, which is unthinkable, but I'm not saying it can't happen. It has happened in the past. You can always say that the market cap was less and therefore it happened, etc., etc. I don't think the fifth largest market in the world can go up 268% in 1 year. It's almost impossible. The kind of inflows which you will see will make sure that the market does not go up so much, simply because it will be matched by a lot of outflows also. A lot of people will reallocate in their portfolio. So these things will be handled, but you have to understand that these things do happen and you have to avoid your PTSD, especially financial PTSD. Don't replay the negative things in your head again and again so that you feel like taking your life. Understand that this is a market fluctuates, the leaders change. Today it could be cement, tomorrow it could be infrastructure, day after tomorrow it could be healthcare, the next day it could be banking, right? So all these things happen. We have seen this happen. You have also seen this happen if you have spent enough time in the market. So understand that this is nothing personal. It's not that God is trying to send you a message that you don't deserve to live or things like that. Don't keep on playing it in your head. Speak to your spouse, speak to your broker, whoever you're close with, and talk about what has happened and how you are going to handle it. Make sure that you have enough money to eat for the next 3-4 years. You will soon realize in life that all the being able to eat well, being able to sleep well, being able to do your day-to-day activities well is a fantastic thing when you're 85 years of age or 90 years of age. Right now we are taking all that for granted. That's about all. So be careful about PTSD. How do you deal with PTSD, financial PTSD? First, try telling the story to yourself that you are part of the market and the market will do absolutely crazy things, right? It will go up, it will go down. Be ready for those big, huge falls. Second, when something goes wrong, whether it is the share that you bought or whether the index that you bought and everything, understand one thing, that volatility is short term. It is not so impactful in the long run. So if you're investing for the long run, you're investing for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, then don't bother too much about the short-term volatility. So understand that these things will happen. Understand that you're talking to the people. If you're managing other people's money, understand that they have to understand that these things will happen. So they have to, when you're talking about equity, especially if you're going to talk, let's say I'm making this video in 2023. So if you are talking about small cap, it is important for you to tell people that it is a 15-year investment, not a 2-year investment or a 3-year investment, because the small cap is already up. So at this hour, if you want to start an SIP, I'm not even saying you shouldn't, but perhaps the chances are that the risk reward ratio favors large cap today more than it prefers the mid cap. But perhaps there is more opportunity in small cap. I don't know, I'm not getting into it. I'm just saying that because of the timing, always sell your equity funds as 15-year SIPs and not something else 7-8 year SIPs. When you sell it as a 15-year SIP, after 5 years, if the client is making money, you can remove some money from there and put it into a multi-asset fund or a balance advantage fund, where the fund manager will deal with the ups and downs. So keeping on removing money from equity funds and putting money in BAF is one of the ways in which you can manage the trauma of such a big fall. But market will fall. There will be one day when the market falls 20%. If you are in the market, you will get hurt. But if you are clear that you will not worry, the short-term volatility will not worry you, you will be able to handle it. So the question is, telling this story to yourself again and again, for me making videos like this, talking to people, and for you sharing these videos with friends and telling them, look, this is how volatility has to be handled, telling your customers that volatility will happen. When you keep talking about it, the impact that it has on you is less, so you will not go around shooting your broker or taking your own life. So a lot of people have done it, right? Jesse Livermore did it, Mark Twain lost money in the market, Sir Isaac Newton lost money in the market, Jack Little lost money in the market. All these people were very intelligent, very smart, well managing their intuitive actions, but still they either gave their fortunes or their life to the market. Be careful. Thank you.